Hey VC, how's it going? Right, we're back in the pub. I'm John, 6-inch pianist 319. And once again, I'm joined by my mate Headley, another fat bearded man talking about records.
Oh, hello, John. Thank you. Yes, it's good to be back at the pub. I just noticed that your background is looking very much like mine. We're very our area of the pub looks very similar.
Well, that's because we're sitting in the same
We're in
area
the
of the
same
pub, isn't
pub,
it?
aren't we?
That's the
Yeah,
idea, mate.
yeah. I know.
How's things anyway? You're right.
And it's good. It's good. Yeah, yeah. Did I tell you I was spotted out in the wild?
Oh God, you have told me, but you can tell me again. Go on.
I don't know. Did you want me to say? I just thought you asked me for something, and I thought maybe. Yeah, a lovely guy called Gary stopped me in the street in Lincoln and said hello.
No,
He didn't say anything about you, John. He didn't say I like the vinyl community pub jukebox.
And you didn't mention me, no? You didn't mention me.
No, I didn't have time. You know, I was too busy talking about the things I wanted to talk about.
It's times like this, you know who your friends are. You know what I mean? Right. So what are you drinking?
Well, I'm drinking. I didn't have much in. I've got a.
Oh,
I was going to say cheeky red, but I don't think the word is cheeky. I think shite is the correct word. Me and Lou were at a kind of quiz thing the other night, and we bought a bottle of wine for the table.
yeah.
And anything that's called Parlez-vous.
Well, that says quality, doesn't it?
Quality stuff. But it needed to be drank, so I thought I better have that. What have you got then?
Well, you don't want it going to waste, do you? Well,
no.
I've nearly drunk a bottle of Mosaic Pale Ale, which is brewed somewhere in the Lake District, I think. Is it?
Yeah. Is it? Oh, that's not the Mosaic.
Hawkshead Brewery.
Hawkshead Brewery. Yeah, I have had that.
Yeah,
nice.
Which is very nice.
Oh, I went through a period of just drinking red wine when I went out, and it's okay when you're at a nice sort of place that does good wine, but I went to some really rough places where you just get vinegar given to you, and I like vinegar.
My problem is that whatever I've spent my entire life drinking pints of whatever. So my problem is if I drink anything other than beer, I drink it at the same rate that I do a pint, So, it's not good for you. So, yeah, I've got no class, basically.
Maybe a straw would help?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. A straw and a glass of your shitest red wine, please.
Oh, that's the way to drink it, yeah.
So, just the two of us.
Yeah.
Last time we had Midge and Jack with us, didn't we? That was nice, wasn't it?
Oh, that was very entertaining. They were very good company.
Yeah, good company, yeah. So, but because we're on our own, we get three choices each. So, 3 plays for your pound tonight.
Yeah.
Do you want to kick off?
Yeah, okay. Now, I am aware, I think we talked about this, I am aware that if I choose something that no one has ever heard of or you haven't heard, it doesn't elicit any conversation. Because you don't come from a place where you go, oh, yeah, I know that or whatever. And I did, of course, last time I pulled the trick of just pulling stuff out that you knew so you could talk about it, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
So we're going to do a little bit of that. But we got Fun Boy 3, Our Lips Are Sealed, which I absolutely adore this tune. And I ummed and ahed about whether actually having the B-side, because it's got this version that's called the Urdu version, which it's kind of very trance-like. It's got this sort of constant sort of beat going on. But yeah, interesting record, isn't it? I mean, it's produced by David Byrne as well.
Yeah.
From their second album, which I love that album. Is it Waiting? Yeah. I think that's great.
Yeah, it's a great record.
Oh, yeah, it's got the back on there. I like the fact that it's got the album. It's got the whole track listing because that's what you need, Anyway, this was. I mean, Americans will probably know the Go-Go's version, won't they?
Well, I actually, seriously, earlier on I pulled out a few singles. I actually was going to show the Go-Go's version of that song today. So that would have
been interesting. Yeah. So, the Go-Go's toured or supported Fun Boy 3. And I think, what's his face? Terry Hall had a little bit of a extramarital or not really marital, but with Jane Weedlin. And so they kind of wrote it together, didn't they? He sent us some lyrics and over the phone, how did they do it back then? I don't know. You think, you just go, I'm going to text you the lyrics. They probably sent her a letter, didn't they? Old-fashioned letters. Anyway, and they did a version 81, was it? Really big hit in the States. It did. I don't think it was it released here?
It did come out as a single over here. Yeah, I've got a copy of that, but I don't think it was over here, was it?
Of course, you said you nearly chose.
Yeah, no, it is a UK copy, yes.
But yeah, it didn't really do anything, did it? Mind you, the Go-Go's didn't really have any success over here. No. It was only when Belinda Carlisle went solo that she sort of got big. But but I have to say, I heard this version first. I hadn't heard the Go-Go's version until, that's probably about 10 years ago. I hadn't heard it. And I have to say, I really don't like the Go-Go's version.
You don't like it?
Well, because I knew this first, and this is a dark.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
it's in a minor key, and it sounds quite odd. The bass line is a bunch of blokes going boom, 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 boom.
But don't you think that all of the Fun Boy 3 records sound odd?
Yes,
they all do.
Oh, completely.
So unique.
Like,
the sound
was it the Lunatic Asylum? What's that one?
Yeah.
That's
taken over the asylum. Yeah,
that's right. That's got a similar kind of
but
then it's like, go back to the specials, and you think of Ghost Town and things like that. There was still that sort of quite darkness, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Which I suppose, the counterpoint to that, I suppose, is the Go-Go's with their in a major key, poppy.
Yeah.
Hopeful. I think I've seen the video of them sort of riding around the car and all looking lovely and sunny and beautiful. It's it's a very different experience. But I do love this single. That's
very cool.
Superb.
So that album, Waiting, produced by David Byrne. I think was it the first single off that record was Tunnel of Love?
Hang on, I can tell you, I've got the track list here.
Which I think is, I think it's their best song, Tunnel of Love, and I think it's one of Terry Hall's best lyrics. It's it's basically about a marriage breaking up, and it's a fantastic lyric. And you can't believe that would be the subject matter for a hit single in 1982 or whatever it was.
Well, it's got great string section, hasn't it? It's all sort of string led. It reminds me. Did you ever remember that sort of Britpop band My Life Story?
Yeah,
a guy called Jake Shillingford was the lead singer,
right?
And I swear their whole career was based on ripping off that song. The sound of all their stuff sounds just like that. It's the heavy strings. But cracking.
Okay, well, today we are having this conversation, Headley, on Tuesday, the 21st of April,
I know
2026.
I know what you're going to say, and I very nearly went there, but I went, no, John will go there.
So today is the 10th anniversary of Prince's death. Yeah. So it's obviously a perfect opportunity to celebrate all of the wonderful music that Prince left us with. And I'm going to go with a song which, if a space alien came down from space and said, "How you doing, John? Yeah, how are things? What's your favourite singer? Who's your favourite singer? What's your favourite artist?" And I said, "Oh, it's Prince." And the space alien said, "I don't know who that is. Can you play me a song by him?" The song that I would play to the space alien is "Girls and Boys."
Right.
I think that Girls and Boys is like the song that encapsulates everything about Prince in like 3.5 minutes. It's funky, it's jazzy, it makes you want to dance. It's got a French lady talking on it. It's got a great video.
If you want to improve a record, put a French lady speaking on it.
You know, it does. It's just a perfect record. I mean, this is the single version. It's actually a double pack, so you get.
I was going to say looks like it got a lot of tracks on it.
Yeah. So it's got Girls and Boys. Obviously, it's from the soundtrack to Under the Cherry Moon.
Under the Cherry Moon, yeah.
From the Parade album. So Under the Cherry Moon's on here, but the second single has two previous earlier B-sides. So you've got She's Always in My Hair, which was the B-side to either Raspberry or Paisley Park, wherever you were.
And I could tell you.
And 17 Days as well, which is a B-side to When Doves Cry.
No, that's Hello is the B-side to...
In the US, it was...
All right, smarty pants.
I'm just saying, just saying.
Anyway. Just I was trying to help you.
Right, there you go. Right.
Your senility setting in. You can't remember your favourite artists.
I can't, but it's a perfect song. And what I like about it, obviously, the film was absolutely panned. But you have that perfect moment in the film where it performs Girls and Boys. And that's obviously the video for the song. And that, it's just fantastic. So when Kristen Scott Thomas, who's obviously in the film, she plays the love interest in the film. That was her first film role. And we're talking about Desert Island Disc before we started recording. And when she did her Desert Island Disc, she picked obviously 8 pieces of music, 7 of which were classical pieces and Girls and Boys. And you think, fair play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, But yeah, absolutely wonderful. I think that's Prince at his best. And that's my favourite Prince album, Parade. Have you got a favourite?
Yeah. I think 1999. I quite like that earlier kind of period. Yeah. I've got 2 versions of that. I've got there's a single disc version.
The UK version.
Was it the UK? Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, I do like Under the Cherry Moon. I do. No, what's it called? Yeah, Parade.
Parade.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's got some great tunes on it. The film is utter pants, but the thing is, I don't think it's the worst in his catalogue. Graffiti Bridge is even worse.
It is, yeah, it is.
Because it doesn't even have the songs.
No, well, the thing is, like Purple Rain, I mean, if you watch that now, I mean, that would never get made now. Because his character is creepy. He's creepy. Really, there's nothing likable about him at all. No. You're not rooting for him. Yes, boy.
Right, okay, so I picked this up recently. Actually, I was over at Scarborough,
okay,
and there's a rather nice, I think it's called Victor's Vinyl or something, on the Fallsgrave Road, and I was picking up a few things, and because I do these videos with you, I spend more time now looking in the 7-inch single sections. And I picked up this. This is the Ramrods with Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Okay.
Do you know that? It's
I know the song. I only know the Johnny Cash version.
Yeah.
Do you want to know why I know the Johnny Cash version? They played at Villa Park before the Villa come on.
Did they?
It's not the song they come out to. That's obviously Paranoid by Black Sabbath.
Okay.
But earlier,
What's the connection to Ghost Riders in the
I don't know.
Sky?
They just always had it. Yeah, just always played that.
Someone liked it. They played it one week and they put it on
Yeah,
again.
and they always play it. Yeah.
It is odd. I mean, I because I don't go to football matches and experience all this stuff. I don't really know. But when I watch Match of the Day, I do catch little bits of things where you realise that, you know, is it Everton where they do the theme to Z Cars?
Yeah, they come out to their cars. Yeah,
that's a weird one. Anyway, back to this. So the Ramrods. This was originally a hit in 1961. Obviously, American group. It's strangely led by a woman, Claire Lane, and her brother Rich put it together. And this is kind of that twangy, almost Dwayne Eddy kind of, I suppose, but with a bit more rock and roll. I suppose you could say that is rock and roll, isn't it? I suppose. But and it's got really odd sound effects. So they're playing it, but then they've got the sound effects of stampeding cattle and whooping cowboys and stuff, which reminds me really much of the Outlaws. You know, the Joe Meek produced with who was in the Outlaws? Oh, it's Chaz Hodges, isn't it? Chaz and Dave, yeah. With what's his name? Black Richie Blackmore.
Really?
I think it's Richie Blackmore, isn't it?
Hmm?
Yeah. Deep Purple?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway. And I was wondering, because this was a hit, number 8, I think it hit the charts in over here in 61, March of 61. And the first Outlaws single was March of 61. And I wondered if, because of course, you know, Joe Meek was already doing stuff with the Tornadoes and other things. And thinking, I just wondered if he heard this and quickly went, oh, let's bung on some Western kind of stuff, and kind of created the Outlaws. I don't know. It's the window doesn't really seem to fit, but maybe it was just the sort of the zeitgeist. Everyone was doing it, maybe. But yeah, the interesting thing about this is a label called Flashback Records.
Yeah, which
does reissues of things.
Yeah.
So and I have no idea. But if you get when this came out, I'm imagining the 70s. I imagine it's at least 10 years on. But if you go on Discogs and you look up Flashback Records, there's quite a lot. They've got quite a lot of a catalogue from some of the stuff. Not one of them has a date it was released.
Oh, really?
Not a single one. It seems like they're all sort of, suddenly people look around and went, oh, there's some more of those Flashback Records. How long have they been here?
Well, that must just purely be because there's not a date on the recording label. That's got to be the only reason why it's not recorded on digital.
Well, of course, I mean, yeah, I suppose so. But then, of course, because these are all reissues, they won't be charted.
No.
So there'll be no chart information about these editions. So that they've just been lost to time, you know. Yeah. But yeah, it's great. And was it Claire Lane? Is that she's the drummer and she does some sort of angelic whooping and singing on this as well.
Oh, right, that's interesting. So, so female drummers. So, I mean, they are very few and far between in hip bands, female drummers. So, to name a few, you've got Meg White.
Yeah.
You've got Mo Tucker.
Yeah.
Sheila E.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got to have Sheila E as it's Prince Day.
Obviously, Prince Day.
I can't know her name, but the lady, and this was this a Joe Meek production as well? The Honeycombs.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure. Did they do "Have I the Right"?
No, you're going too far for me.
But Joe Meek, yes, that was a Joe Meek production as well. So there you go.
Yeah, Karen Carpenter, of course.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, and she's probably the best drummer of them all, wasn't she? Oh, well, apparently Sheila E. You know. Yeah.
So anyway, I love that label. It's to say it's a kind of a retro.
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of the stuff they put out Flashback, the perfect jukebox singles, because they often paired up two A-sides.
Right.
So you know, it's perfect if you've got a jukebox. It's you're getting the hits, You're filling your jukebox with the hits rather than those pesky B-sides, you know.
Well, this doesn't have the next single they released was a kind of a rock and roll version of On the Bonny Bonny Banks of Loch Lomond.
What? Well, you have to say that for next time. Okay, so I've avoided showing a little bit more Prince. I thought that might be.
Well, I've got a pile of them back there.
Yeah, well, there you go. You should have played that Raspberry Beret. I've gone for a bit of reggae, and I've gone for a number one single, Headley. I know that you like to show number one singles.
Number ones.
Yeah, this is a bona fide number one single. 3 weeks at number one in 1970, I think. 1970? Yeah, 1970. And this is the wonderful Dave and Ansel Collins with Double Barrel. You know that?
I don't think I know that.
Oh, come on, Headley.
No.
Come on. Dave and Ansel
Sorry,
Collins.
I don't think I'm quite as old as you.
God, it's like a classic. It's the second reggae tune to get to number one in the UK. Obviously, you know the first one?
Israelites.
And the second one, I'll say it again, Double Barrel by Dave and Ansel Collins.
I probably have heard it.
So I always thought, as a kid growing up, because obviously this was a really big tune, Headley. Everybody knows it.
Everyone knows it. Yeah,
that's right. Dave and Ansel Collins. I thought they were brothers, Dave and Ansel Collins, but it's not. It's basically Dave and Ansel Collins. So Dave Barker and Ansel Collins. So, but it sounds like they're brothers, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
They're not related, unfortunately. But this is classic skinhead reggae. Came out in 1970. And I was looking on Wikipedia, as you do before these chats, you know. And it's quite an important record because this is the first record that Sly Dunbar, obviously classic reggae drummer, you know, half of Sly and Robbie, the first record that he played on, apparently.
Right.
Isn't that incredible? And like, as he died recently, I think he played on something like 2,000 or 3,000 records or something like that. And this is the very first. So there you go. That's something in itself. But yeah, an absolutely classic tune. The other thing that I learned, again, from Wikipedia, which I didn't know previously, was that this got to number one and had only been played on the radio a handful of times, like 30 times.
Right.
You know, something like 30 plays on the radio. And got to number one, and so it's clearly a word of mouth tune.
Wow!
So you played it, you know, people have picked it up and have played it, you know, dances or you know, at home when they're in parties and stuff like that. And it's a big dancer, and that way that's grown momentum and got it all the way to number one and shifted hundreds of thousands of copies. You know, it's around quite a lot, you know. So
how soon after Desmond Dekker with the Israelites was that?
Only a year or so. It's like 69.
So you don't think there's a bit of sort of, you know, almost like a scene? There's a sort of people.
Yeah, well, there would be. Yeah.
That you know, he'd got people into this sound and I mean, a bit like that period in the 90s where you couldn't move for reggae in the charts.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like I said, I probably got that on a compilation somewhere.
Yeah, you will do. But so what's interesting? So I have the album, which is Dave and Ansel Collins, Double Barrel. Right,
that's a good album cover.
It is, but this is the American album cover, right?
Right.
Because the UK, you can tell the difference between the American and the UK is because in the gun barrels on the UK, you've got a little naked lady sitting there in a gun barrel, right?
Of course, you have.
You have,
of
right?
Course.
You've got a little and that naked lady, right? I've got her here. I don't have the
You've
UK
got her there.
copy.
You've got the naked lady there.
I've got the naked lady here. Right. So basically, the tune was distributed by Trojan Records, and Trojan Records obviously they put out a series of really famous reggae compilation albums. Tighten Up. What you know, if you want to get into reggae music, classic 70s reggae, 60s, 70s reggae, buy the Tighten Up comps. They're cheap. You buy them for 10 or 15 quid each. There's, I don't know, 8 of them or something like that. They're fantastic compilations. But on each of the covers of those albums, you have a lady, and it's the same lady.
Oh, is it the same lady all the time?
And basically, that lady, she was the secretary at Trojan Records, in their Neasden office, whatever. I mean, you wouldn't get that past HR now, would you?
Her shorthand was excellent, though.
we need someone we need a cover star for our compilations, and also to sit in the barrel of the gun. Do you mind taking your clothes off, love? There you go, sort of thing. Anyway, that's her there. That's Tighten Up Volume 6.
But you don't know her name.
I don't know her name. She's not credited.
John.
She got a snake on the back there. So there you go. But yeah, in the UK copy of Double Barrel, she's sitting in the gun barrel. There you go.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. They don't like that in America, do they?
No.
It's like the number of times I see it took me ages to realise that Strokes album that people kept showing was their debut album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it sort of loses a lot of the effect with that Strokes album, doesn't it? Because the cover is so iconic. It's a bit Spinal Tap, isn't it?
It is a bit Spinal Tap.
Yeah. I am the magnificent. I'm back with the shaker and soul bones, most thundering, storming, sound and soul. I am WOOO, and I'm still up here again.
Right. Okay. Now I'm gonna be cheeky. I'm gonna do two halves. Okay. So my third one is two halves. Okay. The first one is, and we've never done this, John. Out of all the time we've been doing these, I'm gonna put the B side of the Ramrods, and it's called Zigzag. And you know when you buy a single and you go the B side, the A side's ace, and you put the B side on. The B side's better. And it's
is that because that's made up of two A sides?
I don't know. It doesn't say no. It's an instrument. Okay. I don't think it would be. It could be, but yeah. So I'm just going to quickly go do. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get a secret one in because the B side is great. But then my other half is a record I've kind of already shown.
Okay.
And that was a different version of the song. A while back, I showed Loretta Lynn and Conway Twitty doing Picking Wild Martin Berries.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd have the original version by Peggy Scott and Jojo Benson.
Yeah.
Which is on the SS International, Shelby Singleton.
Yeah.
Which we talk a lot about Shelby Singleton.
We do.
Don't we?
We do. We do.
But absolutely fabulous tune. I mean, I probably do prefer the. Actually, my favourite version is one by an artist called Kelly Hogan, who was on a Bloodshot Records, sort of old country stuff. But I just found out there's a version on an album, a sort of duet album that Kurt Wagner from Lamb Chop did. They do a version of it, and I've not heard that, so I have to check that out. But this is an absolutely cracking tune. So I just thought, put those two together. One I've already shown, but a different version, and one that's the B side. So yeah, being cheeky there. getting
That's
two in. I knocked the jukebox.
Got another play. I like that.
Of course, I told you, didn't I? I'd never seen this before. I was down in because of course we're doing this obviously singles in a jukebox. But when I was in Lincoln, me and Lou went into a hotel bar thing to have a drink. Just after I'd been spotted in the wild by
yeah. And you did mention me. Carry on.
And we went in there, and they had a jukebox in the corner, and it was a 12-inch record jukebox.
Wow.
And I think they're being custom made today. You can buy, if you wanted one, you could buy one. The only problem, the downside is, I think it fitted 10 or 12 records in. So, I mean, really, you'd want compilations, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just thought, you know, that opens up the floodgates to all of this lot, you know.
Well, I think we'll keep it as the 70s jukebox, you know. Yeah. But no, the SSS label, that's our sweet spot between us, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Because there's plenty of country and there's plenty of soul on it, isn't it? Yeah. So I first come across that tune through their album Soul Shake, which is and there's a lovely clip on YouTube if anybody wants to check out the duo there. They do this tune Soul Shake, and there was a promo film for it from the late 60s. It's a lovely clip. But years ago...
Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. They got a promo clip.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Shelby Singleton was just a genius at marketing. Really knew what he was doing. I mean, he ended up buying Sun Records. And basically, he didn't get any of the classic stuff. He basically bought the name and the vault of unreleased material. So you got loads of weird stuff that... Just, what was it, early 70s, sort of 1970 or something like that, or maybe late 60s. But yeah, there's a really good episode of that Cocaine and Rhinestones podcast about Shelby Singleton. He's one of these weird people that clearly had a lot of prejudices and was not a really nice guy, but he knew what would make money, and he was good at selling stuff. You know, he had black country singers on his label, you know, and he was doing stuff that a lot of people wouldn't even dream of doing.
So my final pick is, do you know Reparata and the Delrons? You know the song "I Am the Captain of Your Ship"?
Oh yeah,
yeah. You know, it's like
I think I didn't know it because it was used on an advert in the 80s.
It was, yeah, that's right. I think it's quite a big hit over here at the time. Anyway, Reparata went solo in the 70s, and she recorded this tune called "Shoes." Do you know it?
Ships and Shoes. No, I don't know shoes.
Ships and Shoes. Shoes, right. So, the story goes, Reparata and the Delrons got together in the early 60s. Classic girl group. They had a couple of hits in the States. They had a big tune over here, "I Am the Captain of Your Ship." Gets to the late 60s. Reparata says, "I've had enough of this girl group thing. I'm going to go and do my own thing now." Anyway, she goes off. Next few years, she records the odd single. Nothing great going on. But Reparata and the Delrons keep going. So all that happens is another member of the band, the girl group, steps out front, and she is now Reparata, right? So, you know, it's one of those, you know, the lead singer is interchangeable. They just all share the same name, you know.
That's a bit like the Dukes of Hazzard, wasn't it? Where the two original Duke boys, when it was a hit, decided they were going to say, "We want more money," and everyone went, "No, you missed the point. The car is the star.
Yeah.
You're replaceable."
Yeah. And that's definitely the case. So anyway, it gets to the mid-70s. She records this tune, which is an absolute fucking banger. It's a treat, right? It's an absolute treat. Anyway, so it's released mid-70s, 74, 75. And it starts getting a lot of airplay. Tony Blackburn apparently had it his record of a week.
Good lad.
Good lad. I like Tony Blackburn. Anyway, everything stalls then. And the reason being is that the record company couldn't press any more copies because there was a court injunction from the second Reparata, who's also singing and performing under the name Reparata, right? Says, hang on a minute, you can't use my name. You can't use my name. And so the original Reparata is like, hang on a minute, I'm Reparata, you know, and the other one's like, you know, it's a Spartacus situation, basically. And so basically it just totally knocks the wheels off this single, which looks like being a hit. And it basically ends up stalling outside the top 40. Should have been a massive hit. Should have been a top 10 single every day of the week because it is a treat. But because of all the legal shenanigans,
right,
it totally lost all momentum and wasn't a hit. Now, I first heard this song about 20 years ago. A friend of mine made me a mix CD, and he's a big Smiths fan, right? I know you're a big fan of the Smiths, big Morrissey fan. And on there, he put this tune, and I realised after hearing it and whatever, learning about the song. So this song was a big sort of inspiration to the Smiths song, A Rush, a Push, and the Land Is Ours, which is the opening track on Strange Ways Here We Come.
Oh, yes, right, yeah.
You know that one,
yeah.
You knew that.
Yeah,
so when you hear this and the style of the piano on it, finish listening to this, and then bugger off and listen to the opening track on Strange Ways, and you say, oh yeah, John, I get that. And that's basically what I learned from my friend's mix CD. And it's a treat. There you go.
The Reparata
And the Delrons. That was the original.
Reparata, that's a name, isn't it? I mean, you got to feel sorry for the person that had to be called Reparata after the first Reparata went.
Yeah, but she clearly embraced it, didn't she? You know, she owned it.
Mind you, it's like Sonny Boy Williamson, isn't it? That the famous Sonny Boy Williamson blues guy was the second Sonny Boy Williamson. He just nicked the name from another guy who I think he died quite young. And he just went, and so people got really confused and thought it was the same person. There's a great song that Randy Newman does that basically it's the original Sonny Boy Williamson in heaven bemoaning the fact that he was shafted by this new boy. I'm sorry, I've gone from Reparata to Randy Newman.
Run down the aisle, see Papa smile like I'm throwing rice so far, getting into the car. Mother didn't give her a blues. She didn't forget her shoes. Uncle Jerry opens the wine. Everybody has a good time.
That tends to be the way that.
Well, it counteracts you bringing Prince in, you know.
Well, you're lucky I didn't play 3 Prince songs today because I could have got away. If I was in a real pub and not a virtual,
you would have done that, wouldn't you?
I'd just be playing Prince songs all night now. It's been lovely.
I'd have been there as well.
Yeah, it's been lovely today. So I've been listening to 6 Music and they've had a Prince day.
Oh, good.
So they've been playing obviously Prince tunes. They've been playing, you know, artists that have been influenced by Prince, all that sort of stuff. And it's just been a lovely sort of thing going on all day, you know. So if you don't like Prince, obviously it's pretty shit, but it's it's been really good.
Unfortunately, Louise doesn't like. She finds him creepy.
Yeah.
She's clearly seen Under the Cherry Moon. No, Purple Rain. No, she would. I could never get her to watch Purple Rain. That would never be on the cards.
So years ago, Joe and I went to see Purple Rain at the Prince Charles Theatre in in
Leicester
London,
Square.
Leicester Square, yeah. And they were showing Purple Rain, and loads of people turned up dressed as Prince. And I was like, yeah, good fun, whatever. But of course, the thing that you forget about the Purple Rain film is it's got a really, really uncomfortable sex scene in the middle of it. It's absolutely appalling.
Is that on the back of a motorbike?
Oh no, it's awful. It really is. And basically everybody's sitting there. You know, obviously every now and again he's playing the tunes and stuff like that. You know, all the great songs from the album, whatever. It's all in the film.
Yeah.
And everybody's enjoyed themselves. And then it gets to this point. Everybody's forgotten about the fact that this sex scene's coming up. And it's starting, and everybody's really uncomfortable. And after about, I don't know, 30 seconds, some guy at the back of the cinema goes, "Go on, Prince." Yeah, so that sort of lightened the mood a little bit. But, oh, man, yeah, it's an awful scene. It really is.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, don't show Louise that. Yeah.
No. Oh, well.
Well, there you go.
There we are. I snuck in 4.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll remember that next time.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Who yeah. Oh, forget it. It's all right. I was gonna say some disparaging remark, but I stopped myself. Oh. I think this is I'm moving forward in myself.
This is personal growth.
It is definitely personal growth.
Yeah.
Not necessarily saying everything that comes into my head.
Yeah. That's a skill, not saying it.
Yeah, it won't last long. It might. It's probably if I drank more of this red wine.
Well, I've moved on to a Guinness Original.
Oof.
Yeah, very nice.
Good
Dark and lively.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's my only fans channel.
Oh, that's a channel that I never ever want to see.
I'll put the link up after.
Yeah. Oh.
Do all requests.
Yeah, there you go. All right then.
Okie dokie. Thanks, John. That's been good. Good down the pub.
Good stuff. See you next time.
See you later, mate.